All right, all right. Blessings, blessings, and grand risings. Uncensored Enlightenment Talk family, as well as prime time home buyers. Now, this is a live that's going to be used for information and educational purposes. This is for my audience. What we're going to be sharing today with you is a live property tax hearing. This property tax hearing will be starting at 9 a.m. and it is actually my property tax hearing. Okay, so I will hope not all of my private information is shared with this, but it is legal according to Georgia state law as well as the hearing board and the information they provided to me that I can record it and share this information. So I have made a video about the process of understanding your actual taxes and appealing it prior. So after this hearing, we're going to reintroduce that information and it may help you understand some of the points that I talk about here. Okay. So my basis of my contesting my taxes is not totally the fair market value or the assessed value. So I'm going to tell you honestly, this is not the first time that I have appealed my taxes. Was I successful before? No, but they did look at something and they kind of got off a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? But I can test based on the fair market value, and I had compared the comps that I had based on what the tax assessor did at the time. And I don't believe that I totally won. It was just a few dollars off, but it was still an experience. So I know that this is something that a lot of people are going through as far as contesting their property taxes or not even knowing how to do it. So because this is something that I do, and I don't mind not winning. That's what I said. I'm going to pray that whatever information I share today, as far as what I asked the appeals board, the tax assessor appeal board, will educate us, you know, a little bit deeper on how to actually, appeal it because the angle that I go is going to be a little bit different. I don't want to share all of that with you now. You're going to hear it when I actually talk to them in the hearing, and then we're going to go back and give you the details. Um, I think that is it for now. The hearing will actually be starting at 9 a.m. on the dot. If it's anything that you would like to ask me in the meantime, I do want you guys to know that this information is for information educational purposes only. This is my hearing that I'm sharing with you guys. I am not a legal expert, but I am a legal consultant. I am certified as a legal nursing consultant, and I have went through a course that taught me how to research law, and I have used those tools to apply it in many sectors of my life. And you're going to see how that kind of helped me right now. But one of the things that I was looking into and that I want to bring up is the rate, the actual mill rate. Was it a cap? So one of the things I had to research was it an actual mill rate cap in Georgia? And come to find out that was is not. So that was one of the questions that I was going to ask, like, do the actual mill rate exceed the state limits? But that's something that you can find out yourself because there's no max here. So you're going to hear me talk about the mill rate and how it's applied, and you're also going to hear me talk about exemptions. I have some questions about the exemption and how it's applied, and some of the things that I talked about that's happening in Illinois as far as the tax bill having so many entities taxing. We need to know the law behind them and what governs their tax mill rate, because we can't say all these entities can tax us and they have no law that say, hey, you can't go past this, because they're all going to all the taxes that they have combined together, and we have to pay each entity. So there was four new entities per se. Actually, it was three, but they seem to double up on two on this particular tax bill, and I'm going to ask about that. So the point of the hearing is that they have to prove their stance that they built us right. Okay, so everything I'm going to do is going to be in a question form, and I'm going to let them know that I would like them to educate me on where to get this information if they cannot provide it for me. Another thing that I may not get a lot of information about today is the school taxes. I think this is something they're going to tell me to follow up with the school board with. So I'm going to ask them, how do I get in contact with those particular entities that's in charge of making the decision of the millage rate of the school board, because the millage rate of the school board is pretty high, and it's high in my county, and I know it's high in your county. And then also, yeah, it's higher than actually the county tax. In my particular situation, the mill rate for the county school MO is 20. Okay. And some states have a cap of 30. Okay. So imagine each entity can charge you a mill rate of 20%. And if you understand what a mill rate is, it's about probably like um $1 or 1% of $1,000. That's usually what a mill rate consists of. And after we do the hearing, we're going to replay that video so you can understand what a mill rate is and how it's actually taxed, how it's calculated to determine your taxes. So I keep saying mill rate, but this is basically some of the things that I'm going to ask about. Why do the school mill rate is so high, and trying to understand about the different um, school taxations that they have, because they have a county school M&O and a county school bond. So I'm going to educate myself more on that. And I know this is going to take me down a little bit further, because I did mention to you guys that I want to educate myself on bonds. When I was doing a lot of my financial research, I actually stopped looking, like looking into bonds. When I did my financial research, I looked at it like I was a student in school learning about the foundations of each sector. I don't go in and say, hey, I'm going to invest in stocks and just invest in stocks. I wanted to know the foundations of the stock market. What is the mechanics of it? Because when you know the mechanics of certain things, you understand how to play the game. So that's some of the things that I think is important for you guys to keep in mind when you're learning about different sectors of finances, going in deeper and not just, okay, I invest, but I don't know how this happened. I don't know how this got to this. I'm just a person that picks some numbers. We have to stop being sectionated and kind of know how the process actually works, so we can govern some of the people that is how can I say, in position to control these processes and catch them if it's any default or issues. So today, my goal is to see if it's any default or issues in the process. Okay, because I can't really think. I don't think I have a ground when it comes to the fair market value and the assessment, because of the assessment that they gave is kind of like a little lower than what I actually looked at. You know what I'm saying? Like, compared to what I will sell a home for, I was looking at, I was like, oh, that's they actually assessed a little bit lower, but I know the average market out here. So that's why you have to kind of understand your foundations too, of which way you're going to come at appealing your taxes. So we have about 8 minutes before this start. I want to continue to get myself together. I have my documents here. I have my questions. And I just want to have my mind right. So y'all guys, I'm gonna play the music for you guys. I want to say thank you for being here. They're gonna address me as Lashley. That is my um, government name. So you guys are like, who are they talking about? Yes, my uncensored enlightenment name, I go as Grace Levi. Professionally, I go as Lashley. Okay, so let's get the background ambiance going, and I'm going to put the actual hearing on the screen right now and wait for them to come in, because I've been waiting. I'm making sure that I was ready, and we pray that the audio and everything is clear. Okay.
In the meantime, you'll be waiting in the waiting room during the video. And once we get to your name, we will bring you on to do your hearing. First one, we're going to start this morning. As I said, is Siobhan Lashley. If you would put everybody up, I would appreciate it. for some reason.
And I want you guys to know that I'm not a
I mean,
contesting
material,
the
it
value
just went low.
of the property, so they're presenting this for nothing.
No.
That's the
look
only
what
thing that
happened.
they pretty much can do
Your volume went low.
is show the assessed value.
Can you turn your volume back up?
It's some,
effective.
this is the
We have
comps,
a value of
and this is the
243.
property.
We did reduce it down to 239, but I'll just explain
They
how we got
did.
there. Comp one, 4110 Marlin Drive sold for 210 on July 17th. It adjusts out to 204. Comp two, 232 to Drive, sold July 14th at 249, and it adjusts out to 239. Anything that you see in the bracketed or parentheses is a negative adjustment, by the way. So we did a
From the
negative
sale
adjustments
price.
for age and condition for all comps
Mhm.
downward to help. It's CBS. If it's comps better, you subtract. If comps inferior, you add. Comp three, 3081 Regal Drive, excuse me. So February 2nd for 231, and it adjusts out to 219. 4050 Arnold Drive. So September 27th for 267, and adjusts out to 259. And lastly, the comp 5021 Ambassador Drive.
That's all they could do.
So for 266 on January 11th, adjusts out to 259, 250. We feel pretty confident that we can lower it down to 239.
I'm good with that.
We think we're right in line. The high sale was 286, and I show that on this sales ratio. There are 7 sales inside the subject subdivision that range from 210 to 286, and the median sales price was 265. So we're well below the median sales price, and the COD looks good. Aggregate level is good. But I will stop sharing, and we recommend a value of 239.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. We'll make a decision.
All right, I am back. Y'all was there live at that hearing. And I pretty much, as I stated to you guys, I thought that was going to happen, that they were going to basically say they have nothing to do with some of the questions that I was going to ask, and that all they'll do is to look at the assessed value. As I mentioned to you guys, I noticed that the assessed value of the property that I'm inquiring about was much lower than the actual sale price, that if I was to put it on the market, because myself, I did do my own comparing contracts, just like he was just showed you what were comps was. When we say comps, that is other properties that you can compare within a 10-mile radius. So like I said, that have sold in the last 30 days. And they did do a good job with actually giving us some type of credit for the devaluation of the home. That's some of the things that you can use to your benefit as well. Hold on, make sure that's off. Can you hear me, guys? Some things kind of messing up. Okay, that's some of the things that you can use as well when it comes to taxation. You can write off your property based on some percentage of the value. You can get it rolled over. Devaluation of the property can lower your tax threshold. So these conversations like this and actually doing this actually like really expand your mind. I hope I presented myself well. That's why I said at first I didn't. I know I'm a very strong person, and sometimes I talk people have the spirit of offense. So I always come in and say, hey, I try to stroke their ego. They actually did an amazing job as far as the assessment process. I do understand what they have done when it came to the adjustment of the bill. I have compared the bill from last bill, and some of the mileage rates did go down. That's what I highlighted to them, that they were trying to meet the residents in the middle. But then I noticed these other entities on the bill, highlighting what happens in Cook County out there, where it's all these daggone entities, and you're like, where did they come from? So my question is, and he said that I have to direct that to the commissioner, and we're going to go over some of the questions that I was going to ask even more. I have more, baby. Take them to task. You know what I'm saying? Take them to task. So I did have some more questions, but because they could not answer it because it was over their heads and their scope of practice, take it to the commissioner. So one of the things that I told you guys, we have no cap millage rate out here. So if you have an entity, and I'm going to show you an example of sorry, I'm going to show you an example of my actual tax bill, and I'm going to highlight something for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to actually show you the video that I played prior, that I did prior, breaking down how to understand your tax bill. Very important, very important. All right. So thank you for being with me here today, this morning. I hope this actually helps you, some of the residents inside and outside of Dalton. This is the conversations that we need to have so we can have the tools to win. Okay, because this don't stop. I wanted to get in front of the board, make sure I can ask these questions. As they mentioned, one of the things I highlight, some of these entities do not have the actual tax exemption applied to it. Why is that? Why is that? And they said, hey, you just got to ask the tax commissioner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, are you sure? Just to verify, you're saying that you have nothing to do with these, the tax exemption application. Not the fact that you made the tax exemption, but the application of it. Does that make sense? So this is an actual copy of the tax bill I want you guys to pay attention to. So here is where I circle the zero exemption on the property. Now, as you highlight the fair market value, I don't contest. What they are taxation on is 40% of the fair market value, which is about 81,000. Every entity here. Now, if I bring my old tax bill, these entities right here that have stars, they wasn't here last year. Now, like I said, I have a deep understanding based on the public information that the school board as well as the police department was seeking extra funds, especially because we have an abundant growth in this area. Okay. But I did not hear anything about the Parks and Recs receiving information money, even though that entity was on the tax bill, but it was nothing here last year. So this is the mileage rate that I talk about. And as I tell you, there's no cap here, but some states have a cap of 30. Right here, you can see that the school county is at a mill rate of 20.20. That's pretty high. It's higher than actually the county taxes, which is at 10. You hear me talk about that? I said it was at 11 point something last year. Now it's at a 10.2. I see that they went down. These are what I indicated. That's why you look at this stuff and you know that's how to help you present. You know how to make my little notes. So I did notice that these went down, and I had to acknowledge that. But again, my exemptions are not applied to these new entities. Now, even though the mill rate is low for the police department or whatever they add into it, it is how did they get here and why is my exemption is not applied to it. I don't care if it's $2, $3, and I need to know how, and that's what I wanted to ask, and I did not. Wouldn't make no sense for me to ask them, and I'm going to ask the school board and the commissioner, how do they come up with this 20, like it's not 20%, but 20 mileage rate? what is the cap? What is the procedures that the school board goes through? I know that they go to a meeting, they talk about it, what their needs is, but the thing is, what is the laws that govern it, that cap it? Does that make sense? If you guys know this, you'll know what they can and cannot do. And when you question these things, you may get some type of adjustments. So also, I'm trying to determine the difference between the bond and the M&O. So I'm going to pay attention to that and figure out, because that bond is like they take a bond to what I know of is to borrow money. You see what I'm saying? So we're paying on that as well. That's what my understanding of a bond, when they take a bond out to get some more capital gain funds to do some stuff with. So we're paying on that. That's my assumption. And I'm going to, do some more research on that. And I'm going to follow up if you guys are interested, and I will put that on a public platform, my interactions with the commissioner and the letters that I write them, because I'm going to follow up and ask these questions. So that was pretty much my stance with the appeal boards and what I can ask them. But like they said, they don't know about the homestead. So I did have some more questions. I do have some laws here and things. So what I'm going to end up doing is using this information and constructing in my letter. Use it in my letter, like, highlight the taxpayer bills of rights. Some of, if they talk about the rollback of the millage rate offsetting inflation. They actually did that. This is what they did. They rolled back the millage rate to offset the inflation. So I have to give it to my county that they actually did that. Yeah, I like that. That was great. This is stuff that I like to do. I'm corny and I'm weird. It is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a flashback of the video that I actually did about understanding how to appeal your taxes. Let me see if I have it on this one, or should I show you the one that's on Primetime Home Buyers? Because I think the one I have on Primetime Home Buyers is a little bit more effective. I didn't really just talk about Illinois or Dalton. I actually talked about it from a general perspective so everybody can understand the appeal process. So I'm going to pull that video up. Please hit the like button. These are the parts of this onion, Grace Levi. Yes. Thank you to my Primetime Home Buyers page. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. You are amazing. You guys that support me, you are my backbone. I appreciate you guys. Let me find the how to appeal your taxes, okay? And then we're going to play that video for you guys. And you guys are going to see a few uploads from me this weekend. We're going to do a few flashbacks. And I'm actually going to be live on Saturday night. Hold on. Appealing your taxes. How to determine the land value. Bear with me. I'm looking it up. I should have had it already. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Did you get it? I should have had it together. All right. So this is about a 35-minute video. If you're interested in learning a little bit more, this is what we're going to end this broadcast on. Actually, kind of filling in the blanks. If you didn't understand half of the stuff I was talking about, it's going to break down millage rate. It's going to break down the land value, 40% that I talked about. And I don't know if I went into the laws here, but let's see, because I didn't see this video in a long time.
At your own pace.
Love you guys, and thank you for
Would
being
you like to
here.
learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that this guaranteed method to get
What I
up?
would do, because I do have a little bit time, I will be here. I got to leave at 11 a.m. After I play this 35-minute video, I'm going to go through y'all questions. Yeah. I see y'all have some information here. I'm going to get through the presentation and I'm going to go back to whatever you want to say. I'm going to read it at the end of the live. I'm going to go back through it. You know how we do. I like to have you guys input. I like you guys to share your stories. Sometimes y'all think be so amazing. I'm like, for real? Oh my God.
To 18 to 20% return on your investment. Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please excuse my voice today. Oh my God, this is old, guys. Like old. Let me see. I ain't see this in a while. Don't laugh at me. I was praising. Okay, praising. All right. Today we're going to actually go into the property tax appeal process for homeowners and property investors. Last week we went into a little bit or a lot of bit about this process of what to expect, how a conventional appraisal is done, things that you should know as the investor and the homeowner, just in case you have any questions. We went into RESPA, which is the actual program that is set up to support consumers and home buyers in a transparent transaction. So we want to continue on our Secure Energy Mondays with them same concepts in mind, because the only way that we're going to secure our energy is if you secure your own energy by educating yourself. Okay. So today we're going to get into it. We're going to start with a formal PowerPoint, and then we're going to do a talk through, because there's some more aspects that I just want you to pay attention to when you're doing your general appraisal process. You want to be able to conduct your own appraisal process and compare it to the appraisals that you're getting on your property to make sure that you're getting the fairest value as possible. So I'm going to put the PowerPoint on the screen. Hold on one second, guys. And excuse me. I think I'm going to keep myself off the screen because I want you guys to see the whole PowerPoint. All right, I don't want to distract y'all. Y'all know how that goes. So primetime home buyers, how to appeal the tax assessment on your property. What is a tax assessment? We're going to start with the basics. The tax assessment appeal is the process that gives the homeowner the right to question or dispute the value of the property. Home assessment values can fluctuate depending on the market. As we know, the home assessment value has skyrocketed in the last 3 years. So this is why we need to know this information. If you believe that your assessment does not properly represent your property, you can appeal the assessment. Okay. So we're going to kind of talk about the process and the procedures in this PowerPoint. When can I appeal my assessment? You can appeal when you first get the tax bill. Okay. You can initiate a renewal when I do apologize. You can initiate a review when which is known as a petition for a review. Okay, so these are the 3 times that you can actually get your assessment reviewed. Okay, and the last time is at the time of purchase or sale of the property. So you can initiate one when you get your tax estimate bill. In the back of it or somewhere on that document, it will say if you want to appeal, this is the process. Okay, and then another time you can do that is when you're in the middle of a sale of buying or selling. Now, reassessments occur on an automated basis. It varies between counties and states, but depending on what state you live in, and a reassessment of the property can take place between 1 and 3 years. Okay, and obviously a lot of them do it every year, especially because of what has been happening now. A formal assessment is done. Okay, which will reflect the change in the market value based on the new market changes. Okay, so this is why you want to have the most up-to-date assessment done. Now, moving forward, assessment appeal process. So we want to kind of understand what we're expecting when we do this as homeowners, property owners. It is best to initiate the assessment appeal process as soon as you receive the notice. Or within 45 days of getting the notice. See the county for details. The state law do apply. Sometimes it's 30 days, but you do have a certain amount of time within that time frame to actually initiate an appeal when you get the assessment. But that does not mean that you cannot initiate a review anytime throughout the year. You want to verify this process with your county in question. Assessment appeals can be filed using the back of your assessment notice, as we just mentioned. You can also appeal via online or by mail. See your county for details. Please follow the county procedures. The most important thing that I always highlight is procedures, and any default in the procedures could cause you to lose or renege. Deadlines are important part of this process as well. As I told you, whatever time they give you on that review, when you get your initial bill, you want to appeal that. If not, that is going to be the assessed value until you do a formal review or appeal. Okay. General appeal procedures. Now, we want you to understand that because you can appeal more than once. Okay. Sometimes you lose the first time and you got to go back in. Okay. So the first appeal can be considered an administrative action on a supervisor level. So that's usually, I do apologize. That usually involves the actual administrator who is above the tax assessment as far as a supervisor, a person in the assessment office who conducts the assessment process. So they would relook at that. At this level, information is exchanged with the property owner and the county admin to get an understanding of the basis for the appeal and the factors that may contribute. So at this time, you're going to be able to bring some like, hey, well, I seen some comps like this, and this property just sold for this. You can start to bring that up right to this administrative person. A formal meeting may take place in person or online or via the phone. At this point or before this time, you may request a complimentary comp list from your tax assessor's office. So even if you don't know where to start, you didn't watch the last video, you can start with the comp list that they give you and look to see and start comparing and contrast other properties in the area that you can compare. That's what a comp is. But then you can do this yourself, as we showed you last week. Now, the second appeal, if you're not, if everything didn't work out to your likings, you can move on to a second appeal. In many states, you may be able to do a second assessment appeal. On this level, you will talk to the Property Tax Assessment Appeals Board. The appeals process can take between 30 to 45 days before you receive a notice of the hearing date. There are some, or let me just keep in mind, sometimes, because when I did my appeal, it went straight to the board. Okay. I never went back and forth with the county person. So this can be the first step, or the other can be the first step. Okay. There are some counties that do not use the provision of a board. See the county for details. Some counties don't even use the board. They'll just go straight to this next step. Okay, so if you don't get everything that you want with the board and you feel like something is still wrong and you have factors that was overlooked, you can go a third level. Okay, the third appeal is advanced to a higher level, which takes place in court. This court is known as tax court. Please see state and county for details. If they have a tax court or if it's held in the general, like civil court, sometimes they'll, designate certain days, and, you just have to talk to your county to figure out where the proceedings is going to be held and when. Please keep in mind that in some states, they require a fee to be paid for the appeals level, for this appeals level. Now, even on the first appeals level, as I mentioned to you, some states make you pay for appeal from the beginning. As per Maryland and Carolina County, it's a $400 fee to do an appeal. Okay, so you just gotta pay attention to what county you're in and try to abide by the regulations and those things. I'm not sure if it's refundable, but you want to talk to your county. This is a formal court hearing. The time and date will be issued by the local county. That's the tax court. Okay. At this level, it is best to have a professional appraiser report available. So this is the time. Now, the first one, first two, you're like, okay, I did my research. I got this. You're going back. You're talking to administrative people. You're like, okay, look at this. They're looking at it, But then when you want to take it to the court level, you want to make sure that you have all the most valid information and things to reference at that time. So it is really great to do a formal or get a formal appraisal done. And also the county will do a formal appraisal. When you do an appeal, they'll send the county representative to reappraise your home as well. So those things can be comparable. Okay. Um, Most counties will focus on having professional assessments done at this time. Okay. So this is the last part. Information used to determine assessment value, general assessment information. C part, keys to selling property. And that was the last one that we did last week. Okay. So I'm going to pop myself back on the screen, and I want to talk to you guys about the general assessment process and just highlighting some more information that I found very important when you're actually doing your comparables. Okay, so we're going to kind of talk through this, and I want you guys to actually just take a few notes if it's some things that you didn't know about or some things that you did know about. So when we're talking about comparables, you want to find out the homes that have the most similarities to your home, be it 3-bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 baths. The square footage is something that you pay attention to, and you want to determine in a certain amount of radius. So don't go past 5 to 10 miles of your home. I think that's the best thing to do. So you also want to pay attention to some of the market value changes. That you do that by actually going on. You can go on Zillow, realtor.com. You can also go to the tax assessor's office, and when you pull up your information on a particular home or your home, you're going to see the advancement of tax years. When you look at the advancement of tax years, you'll be able to determine how much the taxes has been going up in the fair market according to the tax office. So that is one important factor that you want to obtain to determine some valid information. Okay. So home factors that you want to highlight in your particular property is what, how many family home is it, 1 or 2? That puts you in another bracket as far as selling. The bathrooms. Do you have a garage? Do you have a deck? Do you have a shed? What is the condition of the roof? Your heating system, your cooling system, how long have they been put in? The foundations, what type of foundations? Because some home foundations need to be updated, and not a lot, because it's usually compatible with the environment, the state, what's the state norms. But those are the things you want to know. The exterior of the house is what type of, if it's vinyl, those type of things. If it's brick, how much would it be to replace it if you need to? Okay, so those are some of the factors that you want to keep your eye on. Other factors that you want to pay attention to when you're determining, and you probably can't determine it based on this, but you want to keep in mind, because as a tax lien investor or deed investor, foreclosure investor, whatever you decide to do with your property, you want to be able to yield your investment. So for instance, if you have a property that you want to do some commercial business in, you want to make sure that extended home factors has contributing factors that will help you your idea flourish. For instance, if you want to do some type of commercial business and you don't have public transportation accessible, that's something that you can rate to keep in mind of how much return you get, possibility, because we got to deal with estimates, but you got to have some type of ballpark idea of what to expect. Okay. And this is all under the guise of buying and selling homes as well. So you want to know, do they have affordable housing in the area? What type of neighborhoods did they have, as far as do they have a lot of children? Do they have schools in the area? What is the ratings of the schools? Does it have, as I told you, public transportation, environmental factors, and is there sewage issues in the area? You'll be able to find that out through the zoning regulation as far as what's going on with the property, as well as finding out what type of activities do they have for its community. What is the community more forward for? If the community is more forward to factories and those industrial, that should be something that your idea should be forward to, if that's what you're looking for. If not, you want to look for commercial residence. You want to look where you're going to find more people, a school, places where people gather. Okay. So general comp, you want to keep in mind is also with that, as I talk about the property history. So over the time, you're going to look at the property history and you'll be able to find that as well um, on realtor.com, on these platforms that you'll be able to see a kind of a history of a sale history. Now, this is when you're doing formal. Now, when you get, I mean, informal, when you get a want to do. All right, guys. So we're about 48 minutes into this video. Both of these videos are already live on a public platform. What I'm going to do is take my next hour before I have to go out into this meeting is actually update the descriptions of some of these videos. And I'm going to connect this to the end of this video so you guys can watch this video, the property tax appeal process. As you see, 16 minutes into this video, I did this about probably 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my God, look at me. 2 years ago, and I sound the same pretty much. So I'm going to share this with you. This is actually on my Primetime Home Buyers page. And then if you don't know, I can make you aware of a video that I did a few months ago related directly to Dolton. And I uploaded it on my Primetime Home Buyers page as well as this page. I got about 100 something views. This is for you guys, Illinois residents, understanding your property taxes. How are they calculated and applied? And this is when I go into the ad valorem, understanding that, going into the millage, what does that mean? Going into a little bit of where you'll find your property tax laws. I think I went into that, and I showed you an example related to Illinois. So I'm going to put both of these down there and let you guys finish out the day if you are interested in this information to watch it and hit the like button. This is what I do. I don't only out here talk junk, talk about stuff, whatever. I try to make my content as entertaining as possible, but the actual foundation of me, when y'all get to know me, I'm a really serious person. Only reason why I do crack jokes and do the things that I do is because I need a way to outlet. I need a way to get some of this lame information, this weird information to people in a manner that they'll be able to understand it, digest it, and find the importance in it. So this is pretty much my MO with the information that I share with you guys. Again, I want to let you know that I'm going to be working with entities to bring you guys more information related to police brutality, opening the archives, crazy cases, all types of stuff. This is a very diverse channel that's going to highlight a political angle, but the angle is for empowerment of you. The empowerment of you. So let me just get to a little bit of comments. Sandra Reed, I want to say thank you for being a participant in our comments, as well as Elaine Goldschmidt. You are amazing. Did I say it right? Did I say your last name right? You Miss Elaine. If you want to get in contact with me, I do have an email. I can put it in the description as well, and I'll put on screen. The email is pretty long. I do apologize, y'all. When I was getting the email, it was like Uncensored Enlightenment Talk Radio. Somebody had it, and I had to do all this crazy stuff. So I had it secure for a couple of years now. So that's just the email I stuck to. So I'll put that in the description for you guys, so you can get that, and I'll put it in the comments right now. Hold on 1 second. If you want to get in contact with me, ask me any questions. What is going on here? Hold on, guys. It's being mean to me. I appreciate you guys being with me. This is actually the stuff that I like to talk about. It is what it is. Y'all saw me. Y'all kind of saw Ashley in action. It is what it is. You can doubt me if you want to, but it's better to have somebody like me on your team, because I go hard for the righteousness and I do my research for real, for real. So my name on Facebook, I go under Grace Levi, or you can find me. My personal page is Siobhan Lashley. Obviously, you saw it. I don't have a lot of people on my personal page because I'm funny about that. So only people who are really like my people's, those are the people that are Facebook friends with me. But I am active on the Grace Levi, and I do answer my inbox sometimes a little bit too much. The key is that they are involved in racketeering on the appraisal. Why you gotta come like that? You see why people think I'm weird? Because I ain't mad at your comment either. Real Estate Mindset channel has been digging into this and has great info on the way on the way they're stealing value from your real estate. Now, I do understand about a little bit about, them holding our property in surety, them having an indefinite lien on our property. That's why we have to pay taxes. And as you say, putting bonds in particular sectors. That's what I want to say. How you got a school bond and we're paying taxes on that school bond. So you got money from somewhere and we're paying taxes to you directly. So that's, people be like, oh, he in his conspiracy mind, she in her conspiracy mind, but you're not, Elaine. I understand you. That's what makes me dangerous, because I understand you. Do you understand me? I understand. I do understand when they talked about the straw man, when they talk about the bond that's on each American. I really did my research on it, but I had to really understand it from a perspective that, or apply it to a perspective, like, let's say not understand, but apply it in a manner that people wouldn't think that I'm out of pocket, because a lot of people who follow down that straw man thing, they really be going to the left. And my main thing is to show proof in the pudding. I'm going to use your laws and show you what it is, and I'm going to work against you with your own stuff. You're going to have to be honorable, and if you're not, that's what I'm going to do. So some of that information related to what Elaine, I think, like I said, be careful. If you're going to apply it based on factual laws, not what other people just send to you, because there are laws there that support some of the things that you talk about, that what we talking about, Elaine. Okay, I know the foundations of the channel, and y'all send them to follow me, because I started this channel after all of that straw man thing. I restarted it because I said the government was mad at my ass. They like, why did she go to that federal case? Why did she? Yes, I was one of the people that took it. I don't mind taking it to the streets. So Elaine, you remember? I think you remember when I went down there to the Heather Ann Tucci case years ago. My channel was viral, and I just started over because I didn't want to really be directly tied to that, but the information and the knowledge that I built from it actually got me here. That's why I'm so efficient, and that's why they knew they had to respect the hustle. At the end, they kind of calmed down, because I know I have a strong presence, and it's sad that people feel uncomfortable and get on the defense, but I kind of learned how to work around that, and that's why I made them feel good. Like, you did a great job. But I'm asking these questions. Are you sure you're not responsible for this? Because what they always do, put it on the next person. Well, that's not our department. And then you'll be going from department to department to department. So what I do, I start CCing everybody. And I said, for just for the record, you said that you have nothing to do with the exemptions being applied to the bill. They said no. I'm going to put that in the letter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to play with them. Okay, so they are bankrupt and pulling it from your real estate value to create more bonds and support their overspending. Yes, they do use the potential money that's going to be coming in from taxation to secure loans. They do the same thing we do. That the government show their assets. Their assets is our assets. Plain and simple. If you don't, that's what it taught me. Their assets is us, our energy, our taxes. So yes, there's a possibility of them. Let's say I'm just giving a low number, $1 million in taxes over the first quarter of the year. They can take that potential money, knowing that it's a definite, highlighting that some people may not pay their taxes. They put that in consideration, a percentile, take that amount of money and go to a bond company. So I know a little bit about bonds, and then can secure more funding. And if anything happened or kapoots, that company who actually gave you the loan, they can get that bond and have it as surety. They can take it and they can use it as a way to get their payment back. Or sometimes, like for instance, what I learned about the marijuana industry out here in Georgia, what they wanted you to do is actually have a $1 million bond. I'm like, for what? You want $500,000 in the bank, $1 million bond, just in case anything happened, the government would take it over and use that bond to continue to keep the business active, or whatever there was that ulterior motive. So that's a little bit of information about bonds. I'm corny and weird, but I love you guys, and I think I don't want to make this live so long, because I do have some other things I want to do, and one of the things I want to do is update my descriptions in each of the videos that I just did. So I will be doing that. Here go my email address. Is Enlightenment Talk Radio Uncensored. It ain't say uncensored because somebody took that. So I had to just stick with that and keep it moving. So with that goes to say, I think did I share enough with you guys? Did I say enough? I love you and thank you for being here with Grace Levi.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.